Assalamu alaikum. Brother and sister, welcome back to Islamic Notes channel. Mohamed Geraldez. Islam is a blessing. Hip-hop or rap music is often identified with lyrics full of harsh words. However, who would have thought that this music genre is what brought Mohamed Geraldez to know the beauty of Islam? Hip-hop music is heavily influenced by Islam, he said during a visit to the Republica Daily office Tuesday, 7/2. Hip-hop is not only a music genre, but also a part of the culture that colors American history. The popularity of this music began when block parties began to be known in New York, especially among black youth living in the Bronx. This music genre grew on the streets since the early 1970s, amidst an environment full of violence and oppression towards black Americans. Hip-hop music became an aggressive artistic expression, rooted in traditional African music. In the beginning, hip-hop's rough style and lyrics seemed to represent a stance against racism and oppression. LL Cool J, Run DMC, and Public Enemy were the pioneers of hip-hop's breakthrough into the mainstream music. Public Enemy has a special place in the hearts of hip-hop fans and specializes in radical political lyrics inspired by Islam. Geraldez grew up in such an environment. He listened to and loved hip-hop music without knowing Islam. However, he knew the moving stories of black American life. Sunni Islam was the first sect he knew. He started to know Islam from interacting with a college friend. He was very cool. He wore cool shoes, very fashionable, he said. The introduction led to light conversations about rap music, Malcolm X, the Kaaba, and Islam. It is not clear what made him finally accept Islam as his way of life. The more he studied the teachings of this religion, he admitted that he found a peace that he could not describe. Geraldez is the first Muslim in his family. His parents are from the Philippines. He was born and raised in San Diego, California. He also lived in Los Angeles. Not only peace, Islam changed almost all aspects of his life. His persistence in practicing Islamic teachings and continuing to improve himself actually inspired his mother, father, family, and friends to convert. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of Allah. Maybe they had seen me so crazy before I converted to Islam, he answered when asked about the initial interest of the family in following his path. He just smiled when Republica asked how crazy he was before he knew Islam. For him, it was a disgrace that had been kept secret by Allah, so he was reluctant to reveal it to others. What is clear is that Islam has brought many changes in him. He said that one Friday night, he decided to stay home after reading a hadith for a Muslim to take care of and look after his family. He went into the kitchen and washed the dishes, while his mother was watching television. His mother was surprised to see this unusual thing. In fact, she had time to scold her son. "Get out of here." "What are you doing?" asked the mother to Geraldez. Geraldez was not used to staying home on Friday nights. He told his mother that he wanted to change. He admitted that he wanted to be a better person. Hearing that, the mother felt that her son was getting weirder, dramatic. That's how he describes the early period of becoming a convert. When someone changes religion, it's dramatic. Everything in his life changes, he said. He admitted that the lack of knowledge in the early period of entering Islam was very dangerous. He became very extreme. He taught Islam explicitly, even, not reluctant to advise and order others to practice Islamic teachings. He told people around him not to take pictures, not to eat with his left hand, and several other teachings that he believed in. This made him even more shunned. In fact, last week you were still using illegal drugs. Then suddenly you tell people to do this and that. That's dramatic, he said. Geraldez is endlessly grateful because he is still able to defend his faith to this day. He performed worship, cleansed his heart, and continued to improve himself. After college, he asked his mother for permission to go to Syria. He deepened Islam for 4 years in that country, also Morocco and Mauritania. No wonder, apart from English, he also mastered Arabic and several other languages. His departure to Syria raised a big question mark in his mother's mind. She was confused as to why her son had the desire to succeed and other desires. But he wanted to learn Arabic and Islam. "What's going on? What is this?" she said. In that condition, his mother was moved to study Islam and finally decided to convert. Not long after that, his father and several members of his family followed in their footsteps. This path was even followed by several of his close friends. I don't know what this is, but peace is what I want. When I talk about material and rational things, they are always surprised, he said. As time went by, with increasing knowledge, Geraldez began to understand Islam and its nature as Rahmatan lil Alamin. He became a friendlier person and found a very beautiful value in the teachings of Islam that Allah is all-knowing. Allah knows best, while scholars and what is written in the book are like books. Read guidelines, he said. With that principle, he preached Islam in ways that were more acceptable to those around him. He did not place people who disagreed with him as enemies. Instead, he embraced them and made them his friends. I don't need to tell you what's wrong with his religion. People know. This religion is a blessing. Just relax. Why be so harsh? I don't understand, Geraldez said. Mohamed Geraldez is now known as an entrepreneur, speaker at various meetings, and a successful motivator. Together with the United States Embassy, he travels to various countries motivating people to develop the world of entrepreneurship and digital technology. He is an investor in several companies and runs businesses in various fields, including the halal industry, digital technology, food, financial institutions, and so on. Amid the growing issue of Islamophobia in America, Geraldez conveyed the message that the United States has not changed much. I don't know why the US media seems so unfriendly. People come after 911, and they are shocked because people are nice. That is just the image that is projected. Everybody has an agenda. The media, corporations, everybody has an agenda. To me, America is still the same, Geraldez said. Mohamed Geraldez, rap singer who converted to Islam. A person becomes a convert only because of the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah's guidance can come anytime and from anywhere, including from hip-hop music or what we know better as rap music. Rap music is identical with lyrics that are full of harsh words. But who would have thought that this music genre would be the gateway to guidance for Mohamed Geraldez to know the beauty of Islam? And it turns out that there is a lot of hip-hop music that is influenced by Islam. Hip-hop is heavily influenced by Islam, Mohamed said. This music was very popular in America, especially during parties in New York City, especially among black youth. This music genre grew on the streets since the early 1970s, amidst an environment full of violence and oppression towards black people in America. Hip-hop music became an aggressive artistic expression rooted in traditional African music. At first, the roughness of hip-hop's style and lyrics seemed to represent a stance against racism and oppression. Mohamed grew up in such an environment. He listened to and loved hip-hop without knowing Islam. However, he knew the moving stories of Black American life. Mohamed became the first Muslim convert in his family. His parents are from the Philippines. He was born and raised in San Diego, California. He also lived in Los Angeles. He began to learn about Islam through interactions with a fashionable college friend. She was very cool. She wore cool shoes, very fashionable, he said. The introduction led to light conversations about rap music, the Kaaba, and Islam. It is not really clear what made him finally accept Islam as his way of life. The more he studied the teachings of this religion, the calmer his heart felt. Not only peace, Islam almost changed all aspects of his life. His persistence in practicing Islamic teachings and continuing to improve himself actually moved his mother, father, family, and friends. By Allah's permission, their hearts were knocked on, and they also converted to Islam. Allah! Because of Allah! Maybe they saw me so crazy before I converted to Islam, he said. Islam has changed the life of a man named Mohamed Geraldez. He can even inspire his family and relatives with the beauty of morals in Islam.